up, my people? Yeah, I go by the name Emmanuel. Today is a beautiful Sunday, and I'm here to add my voice to the ongoing, topic. If you're somebody who loves black news, not necessarily politics, but something about black news and all that. The current news out here is that the government of Ghana led a resolution with the United Nations to push the agenda to describe the transatlantic slave trade as the greatest crime against humanity, right? And I just look at the whole story like, wow, that's beautiful. I'm actually really proud to be a Ghanaian when I saw that the UN accepted the motion and then had all the selected countries in the United Nations to vote in favor or against, or some also chose to be abstentions, which I'll talk about it later. But it's really amazing. I'm really proud of Ghana as being a country that is bold and daring to speak for our ancestors, right? So our ancestors had to go through all these things for us to live, because it wasn't their will to be part of the slave movement. Nobody wants to have a forced migration, right? I look at different countries today. We have so many immigrants. They came by themselves. They wanted. Some want to come and see asylum. Canada, for instance, gave a lot of asylum opportunities for people who are running for their lives to come and stay here and become legal residents, right? So slave trade is one of the greatest sin that has ever been done. People who were coerced, who were brutalized, who were beaten. When you go to Ghana, the evidence are there, the slave castles and the forts are there for you to show the door of no return, for you to see the things that people actually went through, right? I've been there twice. I went there in my youth age when I was in college or university, and then I went there last year. My wife visited me in Ghana. I was in Ghana by that time, so we went there together. My wife got to see the experience and everything. She was really enthusiastic about that, and I was very happy. I took her to the slave dungeon and all the places that she had to see, and then she went to the door of no return to take a picture and all that, to show the world that she has come, pay homage to the ancestors that we have returned. So this is a milestone in the story of slavery. Slavery is a very big topic. It is because of slavery that we have all the black deposits around all the world. I normally call it the black nation. So the black nation consists of diverse, like the black Americans, the African Americans in America, they are all deposits of African and the transatlantic slave trade from Africa. Canada, we have black Canadians before all other people started to come here. Caribbeans, Jamaica, and all the Caribbean countries, Haiti, all right, Cuba, yeah, and then we have South America. If you go to Brazil, a large population of Brazil is black, Afro-Brazilians, and all these are deposits of slave trade. So this still lasted for more than 400, 500 years, right? So according to the one of the minister in charge of the foreign affairs in Ghana, he was saying that September will be the 100 years when the last slave trade movement was abolished, officially abolished, right? Yeah, so they want a reparation. So what I understand is that something like a compensation, to really empower back Africa in some ways. The affected countries, so many countries were affected, from West Africa to some parts of other Africa, Eastern Africa, Angola, South Africa, and all these countries are also affected. So it was really huge all over Africa. Many of the countries were affected. So in this reparation request, but Ghana, if it really happens that they have to pay lump sums of money or something, it will go back to empower the youth, the people. Business owners try to support startups, give scholarships, help people to really uplift. I hope this will be able to happen. Even if it doesn't happen, the fact that Ghana was able to push this agenda and got the majority vote at the UN voting makes it amazing and makes it that public message. Sending out public message is enough. I'm very happy about it. I'm so proud to be a Ghanaian. Out of 54 countries in Africa, Ghana is the only one who had the courage to push for this motion. And one thing is that these things are there. We see it on social media, we read it in the history books, we hear it all the time. In Canada, when I came here, this is my first time that I got to experience the Black History Month and all that, right? It's a culture here where it is allowed, to memorize what the Black people went through and all that and the way forward. All right. In Africa, we tend to learn about only our history, but we also know about transatlantic slavery. We don't know about the Black history. So the Black history is more prevalent in US and Canada. I don't know about the Europe. I don't know Europe if they try to recognize that. Yeah. So in Canada, it took a long time. It took the efforts of a woman called Jane Augustine. She came from Grenada to Canada through the Caribbean-Canada relationship, and then she came to establish herself very well as already a working class back in the country. Came to establish herself very well. Got into politics, became an MP, and put for the motion that Black History Month should be celebrated. So this is beautiful. If you don't stand for what you are made of, it will never be known or it will never be recognized. So I find it joy that Ghana could push this agenda that could rotate around the whole world. The funny thing is that you still have some Black Americans, African Americans speaking against the backlash that our forefathers sold the slaves and all that. Well, I say, are you kidding me? Do you really care about Black people? Do you care about your history? It's amazing. It's amazing. You can put your orientation or your what you think about it in the comment section, right? But the truth of the fact is that we are not going to tell about the whole story of the slavery, right? But it was something that we were forced to actually be there. So it wasn't the genuine intentions of the people just to cross the Atlantic Ocean to get over their place of peace. You understand? So these people were brutalized. Some were thrown into the sea. There is a purported number of about 12 million Africans lost through slavery, and it could be more because they kept dying and all that. And it didn't end there. When they go to US and on the Caribbeans and the plantations, they were working on all that. There was always people being brutalized, being abused, people died and all that. It's this. I always say that God is the only one who's going to judge. All right, because society is not perfect. Society is full of injustice. So it's only God who's going to judge. But it's very important that we need to, bring this topic out for Black people to know where they are coming from, to understand who they are and why they are Black. All Black people came from Africa. If you understand that, it will help you as a Black person to define your purpose and to know what you are made of, and to know that you will always be in a minority of another nation. So what you need to do, you need to keep pushing for freedom, fight for equalities, and strive more for better opportunities, because this has been going on for a long time. And we had the era of the Harriet Tubman, the popular slave woman who got freedom and then used her one strength to free so many people from slavery in America. We have the Queen Nanny of Jamaica, who is from Ghana, and according to history, she used voodoo or as African traditional rituals, practices to deflect the enemy, the British people, from finding their rights and all that, and she was able to free many people in Jamaica. So we have all of this story, these superheroes. You understand? We have a story of also Yasanto from an Ashanti kingdom in Ghana, who fought against the British oppression by mobilizing the men. She stood out of the men as a woman. You understand? So this rebellion spirit of trying to get freedom, it's not rebellion in that context, honestly, was always coming. So we need to remind ourselves of Black people. And we have the president of Ghana, the Republic of Ghana, coming to the UN to put this motion. And about how many countries voted? About 119 countries voted. Yeah, and then many of them voted for the motion that it is a crime. Many of them. 3 countries voted against. And obviously, you know the countries that vote. Argentina, Israel, and US. I'm not surprised. Argentina is one of the richest countries ever in this world. They had black people in South America. So black deposits are all over South America. But Argentina, there's no black person. Why? Because they, according to history, they killed most of the black people that were available in that country. So I'm not surprised. You know, all these countries exist and they're being celebrated for inhumanity and the dirty things that they've done in the past. We know US as a society was actually going there, so I'm not surprised. And Samuel Okudzeto, the foreign minister of Ghana, explained. They asked him, and he explained what America was saying, the reason why they voted against the motion. But it's not a news. It's not something new. We know the stance of America. This is a country that used the black people to build the economy. And when it was time for them to incorporate the black people, it was a problem. Black people have been fighting for over 100 years to get freedom. They were brutalized, killed. There was an era where black people in America cannot own lands. If you own a land, they will come after you, and then the white supremacists will come and kill you and all that, a whole lot of things. Down to the generation from Harry Truman down to the generation of the recent ones, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. These people liberated the black communities in America. They spoke, they encouraged, they spoke intellect, knowledge, spoke to the future, spoke truth to power. And as out of what they did, it's what inspired a lot of the young Americans who are now old to push and become civil rights activists to push for the freedom that they have in the society right now. It's not even 100%. George Floyd, who was killed by a white policeman in America recently in 2020, that escalated the Black Lives Matter, movement all around the world. Yeah, so it's still there. You understand what I'm saying? So if these things are not always brought up, black people will never understand what they're made of, where they come from, and who they are. And if you don't understand these things, you can never define your purpose. That is why I see, in American society, that black people have this all negative stereotypes. And sometimes I look at the fact that all the freedom they got, all the money some of them are making now, is it all about shooting your fellow friend, killing, doing drugs, and doing all the negative things? No. This is what Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were preaching. They will put you guys in conscience so that you can become better people and fight for your place. And we got a black president in Barack Obama along the line recent. It's out of the efforts of all these people who are to, be brutalized, lay down their lives for the future generation to come and enjoy. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all these people that are at the age of 39 will not live long if we are civil rights activists. It's not easy, but people have to fight, because if you don't know who you are and you cannot fight for what you believe, then nothing will happen. You understand what I'm saying? So if Ghana don't stand up for this and bring this awareness, then nothing will happen. I'm just praying the reparation will happen. If any money is released to compensate, it is not enough, but it can empower people in Africa. And he made it clear that this money is not going for politicians to spend it. I don't know how they will channel it, but it has to go directly to the people of Africa. It has to be used to set up, infrastructures, support startups, push people, like give scholarships for people to go and study and come and impact their countries. Yeah. So Ghana won the motion, and many countries. Many countries really support it. So I'll read a news here for you to. This is it. Ghana leads UN to declare the slave trade the greatest crime against humanity, advancing global reparatory justice and safeguarding historical truth. It's a truth that you always need to be reminded. It has already been told. It needs to be reminded all the time for black people to know where they are coming from. Yeah, so this is very beautiful. So speaking at high-level event of reparatory justice held in New York on 24th March 2026, the President of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, reiterated the significance of this landmark decision, stating the resolution is a pathway to healing and reparative justice. This resolution is a safeguard against forgetting. This is what I'm talking about. We don't have to forget our history. His words capture the dual purpose of the resolution: to honor the memory of the millions whose lives were stolen, and to lay the foundation for a more just international order, one that confronts historical truth while building mechanism for equitable futures. Recently, I saw a post where Trump was saying there is potential in Africa if they unite. Are you not coming to tell us we should unite? Yeah, the West has destroyed Africa for 100 years. They don't want us to unite, because when we unite, we become a force. Africa has a big potential. Do you know how many lives Africans have lost? But we keep producing, and our deposits are all around the world. So Malcolm X is saying that when we say Black Americans, Afro Americans, it's not only Afro Americans. There are too many Africans around the world. They are all coming from Africa: Caribbeans, Cubans, South Americans, Brazilians. There's Black in Colombia. There's Black in America. There's Black in Canada. If all these people are to come together, what do you think will happen? The world economy is going to shut down when they come together and they try to be independent, become one nation. Yeah, so they don't want this to happen. They don't want Africa to happen. Africa is made of 54 countries, and the youth population is increasing every time. Go to countries like Japan, the youth population is declining. The government wants the citizens to give birth more so that they can have more population. So I don't know who's going to tell the story of Africa. If we don't come together and support each other, we can never do it. And now the Black American communities, before like 50 years ago, they were not connected to Africa. They don't care about Africa. Africa is scary. But now most of them are coming to Ghana, building businesses, connecting, establishing factories, doing business, real estate. This is what we have to do as Black people. If we can connect, we can be successful. Look at the Indians. They go everywhere, they form their communities, they take over, because numbers is power. You understand? Come to Canada. The most successful immigrant group right now, how can I say, is Indians, because they have the population. If you have a population, you can have the factories, you can have the grocery shops, you can have the businesses, you can trade among yourselves, you can get more billionaires, you can have more support centers, you can help each other. Your business will grow. You understand? You can agitate for the right for your own people. You can push your people in the spaces where they can agitate for you. So that's what we also have to do as Black people. Black people are so divided. All right? This thing is a very good thing, but you still find some Black people speaking against it. It's very bad. It's very bad. Yeah, so you can let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section. And this is a good move by Ghana, reminding the world that slave trade is the biggest crime against humanity. And I just hope that reparation can happen. They can compensate us in so many ways. Yeah, I don't know if that will ever happen, but from what is important for me is that we have not forgotten of our past. We didn't forget our past, and we reminded the whole world about this. And some countries did not abstention. They absented from voting. And one of them that I was disappointed is Canada. You know why? Canada is a country that was a hub for free slaves in America. They ran from America through the railway, and then they go to some part of Canada, and that place was free because there wasn't too much slave business going on. It was, but it wasn't really like in America. And Canada over the years has given asylum status to so many countries. Yeah, Canada can go to one country, pick people who are under protection of war or something, bring them Somalia, Ukraine, protect people. So I'm surprised that Canada could not vote for the motion that this is the biggest crime. They absented. I saw somebody also doing a content on Facebook that Ireland also absented. Irish people, according to history, I think were colonized by the British, and they don't like Britain. They are not part of the UK. They evacuated themselves. They don't like UK at all. But how come? The world is not fair. The world is not full of injustice. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And this is an interesting topic that I brought it out. Yeah, you can. What you can do is to subscribe to my channel and share this message out there so that somebody can also see and watch and then share their thoughts on it. And then together as Black people, our message will be out. And thank you very much for all those who are watching our channel. Thank you, and God bless you so much. Keep supporting us. Comment, like, and share. Have a wonderful day, all our friends. Okay.